Hello and welcome to the Anorak Review Show with your host, the Anorak. And it's our 10th episode! Yeah, it's probably not much compared to other more popular internet critics, but for someone like me who's had to make videos out of my own bedroom, it's something of an impressive feat to say the least. And I know the subject of today's video may not be up to spectaculars, but it's what I do. But in terms of celebrations, today we're looking at Blue For You by Status Quo, an album that came out 45 years ago this month. And it's something of quite an interesting album, having been on the British album chart at #1 and stayed on it for 3 weeks. Yes, 3 weeks. So what makes this album so interesting? Well, let's take a listen to each of the songs and find out so. Starting things off, we have the song Is There a Better Way? And honestly, I can't think of a better way to open this album with. This is a very quick, fast-paced hard rocker of a song. Its riff and instrumental break remind me a bit of Beatles' Carry That Weight or She's So Heavy and I Want You So Bad. The vocals by Lancaster are very simple and yet very, very projective. He's very good in that respect. Continuing on that hard rock tone is Mad About the Boy. This song's somewhat rebellious in its lyrical content, talking about mothers and a son being in trouble or whatnot. And that somewhat rebellious tone is also captured in its guitars by the members Francis Rossi and the late great Rick Parfit. Speaking of, Rossi's vocals are also capture the rebellious tone of this song. It's definitely more catchy, almost kind of 50s, 60s kind of style to it. Almost Rolling Stones-esque. Next is Ring of a Change, a song that has more of a carefree attitude to both its musical and lyrical content. It's the kind of song you would play and listen to while you're driving alongside a sunset beach or sunrise beach, however or whenever you do it. The music reminds me a bit of a mix of punk rock and surf rock, which I think is very fitting for the time. If you like that kind of music style, I think you'll enjoy this one. Then there's the titular song Blue For You, a more chill, almost jazzier kind of song. Its lyrics speak of finding the perfect woman and whatnot. Here, Lancaster's definitely at his relaxed when he's singing here. I think it's good that they placed the song here to give the listener something of a break, calm them down for a bit from all the awesome kind of rockier, fast-paced tracks that came before it. And I think it's kind of a wise decision, if you know what I mean. Side 1 ends with the song simply called Rain, written and sung by Rick Parfit. This one definitely picks back up almost immediately after Blue For You, the title track. The music and its lyrics of rain constantly falling down on his head and whatnot, be it literally or metaphorically, reminds me a bit of Fixing a Hole by the Beatles, or even most of the works by ELO, who have also done a few songs about rain falling and whatnot. Side 1 begins with the song Rolling Home, another fast-paced, rocky track of theirs. This is probably like the shortest song of the album, it's like about 3 minutes at least. The song reminds me a bit of The Who, Elton John, and Led Zeppelin and whatnot. It's another one I think is worth listening to when you're driving down the road minding your own business. Next is That's a Fact, a slightly more slower kind of song. Not entirely slow, but not entirely fast either. This one's somewhat more chillish in nature. It's still rocky, but not fast-paced in one. Its lyrics speak of sitting around, needing a job and not getting one, feeling alone, wanting to talk to someone and all that. While the first side of the album, most of the songs there have a more childlike, naive, rebellious kind of attitude. This is where I think reality starts to kick in and this person realizes that life isn't really all that carefree and easy. Then there's the song Ease Your Mind, slightly more lighthearted in terms of its lyrics. It acts almost like an answer, like a response to the previous song. While that's a fact, goes from the point of view of a person who's dealing with real life and loneliness and whatnot. Ease Your Mind is coming from a person who's trying to comfort them, ease their mind, tempted to talk to them, write a letter to them. And I think whoever put those songs in that kind of order did a very clever choice. The album ends with the song Mystery Song. Not the most creative titles, but what do I know? This is probably the longest song of the album, clocking at about, 6.5 minutes at least. Its lyrics talk about a young man encountering I think, slightly older prostitute and whatnot. It reminds me a bit of the Mama song by Genesis, the album of which I would look into for some time soon. The way this particular song is structured is somewhat worth of note. It starts building up, almost psychedelically. This riff of guitar kind of leads you in, and then it kind of explodes into a classic hard rock style with all the lyrics and whatnot. Then once all the singing's done, it eventually calms back down, almost like a bookend in a way, and eventually fades out. It's a good epic track, probably one of the more proggier songs from Status Quo. So overall, the Blue For You album is definitely an underrated album from an already underappreciated band. I mean, it's still very funny to think that this band, even in this day and age, is still going on to this day. I mean, they probably made 30 albums, say the least. And I'm hoping to look into more of their albums sometime down in the near future. Next time we take a look at a more popular, interesting and special album, and one by a famous electronic duo that sadly ended not too long ago. Next time, we're taking a step into a discovery.